What is up, YouTube? And today I just want to talk about something that's been happening in Epic 7 for a while now. So as you guys probably know, we have this special Mystic Summon, which is great because we can basically choose whatever ML5 star and also even ML4 star that we want to pull for here on a special banner, with the pity carrying over to the next banner and also retaining the pity from the last banner. So it's just like a normal banner, but you get to choose, and it's very customizable, which is very nice. But the thing is, we kind of have a problem in the game with these mystic medals, and that's because if we actually look at the timeline here, which I'll pull up on the screen, you're going to see that the past ML5 stars, the new ones that have been released for pretty much the past year and even longer than that, besides like maybe one or two outliers, have just been super game breaking and just very, very strong, and pretty much just top 3 in PvP when they come out. So first off, we have ML Ilyanov coming out in about 2 weeks. This unit will also be very powerful because of the fact that she basically counters penetration, and pretty much everything in this game has like defense penetration right now. That's good. ML haste, right? Uses defense penetration, Janua, Laya as well, and pretty much almost every single target damage dealer is on penetration set. So because of that, she's going to be very powerful. Definitely a very strong defense unit and very strong in RTA. We also had ML Luna, who is just wreaking havoc in RTA, Guild Wars offense, Guild Wars defense even, and Arena, which is pretty annoying. The one before that came out was ML Senya. Don't really need to say too much. She's on every Guild Wars defense team, and she's extremely, extremely powerful everywhere in PvP. ML Politis, pretty much the same thing as ML Senya, just fitting a different role, just equally powerful. And before that, we have ML Sharoon, who's not like super broken, but she's a very powerful niche pick into stuns, which is very prevalent, and sleeps as well, good into like ML Tywin, ML Bray. Ludwig, one of the best cleavers, right? Abyssal Euphine, one of the best damage dealers. Urban Shadow Shu, best injured unit. Navy Captain Landy, probably the best damage dealer, right? We can just keep going. Honestly, probably stops there at like ML Landy. But basically for the past year, we've had back-to-back new units, which people just really wanted to pull for, right? Besides like ML Ludwig and ML Sharoon, like everything else has been very powerful. And it's not even just like very powerful, but pretty much like game-breakingly broken. So because of that, people are just struggling a lot with their mystic, medal count, right? And me included, I've been playing the game for a while. I have quite a few ML5 stars, pretty much all the good ones except like ML Senya and ML Haste. And even then, like I struggled to actually keep up. And if you don't get lucky on these banners, which is very hard because the chance of getting this ML5 star is 0.625, you're gonna just fall behind, and it makes it hard to compete in PvP where the power creep is insane. Like a long time ago, we had a meta where basically a lot of the powerful units were ice, fire, or earth. But now it just feels like if you don't have the really good ML5 stars, it's really hard to compete. And I think Smilegate needs to either up their mystic medal count so that people can catch up, and even just like existing players don't feel like they have to, spend money on the game to compete in PvP, or they need to make it so that, there's other ways to get ML5 stars. Now, we actually did have a Moonlight blessing from the Fallen Land, and basically anything that popped up in this this story here, Remnant Violet, ML Vivian, Concorlius, Meteor Cowrick, etc. were available. And I think what they'll eventually end up doing is probably release one for every single one of these side stories, or which I hope they will do. So for example, Runway Fighter, they can release, a selector for Designer a little bit, Lone Crescent Bologna, Tamara Luca, you can choose one, or maybe even combine it with another one, like such as this one, or you can choose like Operator Cigarette, Lesser Crow, Architect Laika, Twisted Eidolon, Kayron, Urban Shadow Shu, Eternal Wanderer Ludwig. I think what they should probably do, because they did it for the Fallen Lands cast here, if you look, these are all the units that are available from the Season 2 Selective Summon, or not Selective Summon, Moonlight Blessing. I think they should probably release one, or they probably plan to release one for all of these following ones. Now, I'm not too sure if they will, but it'll make sense that they do once it actually starts filling out. And because of that, I think that's a great way to actually help players just get a lot of ML5 stars. If they do want Epic 7 to last for a long time, I think they really need to actually make it more accessible to new players. Right now, for a new player, Epic 7 is easy to get into, honestly. It's great for new players. But if you try to compete in PvP, you're essentially capped, and no real amount of money you spend on the packs in the game can actually really help you catch up. Because if you look at the packs here, they are ridiculously overpriced. So if you spend, it's about $100, you don't even get close to an ML 5-star. I do believe like the rate, like I think the ratio is like, you need to spend like $800 to guarantee an ML 5-star that you want from a Mystic Banner for the pity, which is insane. So, there's not really a way that you can actually, pull for every single ML 5-star. And even then, you have to wait for the banners to rotate. What I think they can actually do to make this more easier for people is actually revamp the coin system. And what I mean by that is we have these Galaxy coins and these Covenant coins. I think you need to summon a Covenant unit more than 7 times to actually unlock this shop and get coins. And same with Galaxy, you need to summon a duplicate of an ML 5-star to get these coins. What I think they should do, and they do this in other games, is instead of having this shop rotation, which is pretty stupid, nothing ever changes in this rotation besides the 3 units. They should just put every single unit here that isn't newly released. And same for Covenants, right? That will just make way more sense because time gating it now and locked behind 3 characters and you have to wait so long for it to rotate just makes it very, very annoying to actually play. For me, I'm missing ML Haste, ML Senya, ML Tywin, so it makes it a little bit harder for me to play RTA very efficiently. I have to change my entire draft around it. And I have the coins to buy them, almost 2 of them. I just have to wait for them to rotate, which is very annoying. And I think a lot of older players have this, thought as well. Same with the Covenant coins, right? 3 units, Covenant units, when we have like over 100 is pretty crazy, right? I think just open the list to more, or at least more, but ideally all of them, because some other games do that as well. It'll just make it a lot more better, right? There's not really a point to time get this. Also, I think they should probably start rewarding these coins more often. Just because in the past, it made sense to not reward them as a reward from like events and stuff like that, just because it's a new game. But now, because there are so many ML 5-stars, even if you give out like more ML 5-stars, it'll just make it even if you do give out more ML 5-stars, giving out these coins, it won't really hurt their profits too much because there's so many ML 5-stars in the game, and Smilegate is just releasing stronger and stronger ones. So what is the downside of allowing players to get older ones, right? And what I think they can do to actually allow people to get this is maybe putting it into the Epic Pass. I think that's a little bit of a stretch because this is very, very easy to obtain. Just pay a few Sky Stones and just play the game basically. But I think it's a good way to do that. Also, maybe even putting it in as a drop from like Hall of Trials or even Raid, or even as like a reputation reward. Maybe if you summon like a certain amount of characters from like something, you can get like those Galaxy coins or something. But I think just putting it in as a reward, whether it be through an event, through a drop, through like an Advent side story, or from the Advent side story that usually runs, or maybe just like random side stories that just end up running, would be very nice. Also, what they could do is just give out like, I don't know, maybe like 5 of them for completing these Moonlight theaters. And I think, yes, it is a very, very tall task. I don't think they'll really do it. But I think, in my opinion, that would be great. Just because, like, if we look at how many ML 5-stars are in the game, there's so many, right? It's really hard to catch up. And because the meta is always shifting, I don't really see the harm in allowing older players or even newer players to just catch up or just get the ML 5-stars that they've been wanting. But I think the coin shop should definitely be revamped. Like, we have so many ML 5-stars. I've been playing for I don't even know how long, and I'm missing quite a few. So, yeah. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think, though. I think this is what I would personally change and hope that they change. But, as always, just my opinion. I'm just curious what you guys think about the state of the game in terms of Moonlight units and the power creep.